sportsmanship starts with you.
Good sportsmanship means showing respect to student athletes, coaches, officials, and those around you.
Good sportsmanship is about character, accountability,
and setting a positive example in and out of competition.
Before the game starts, remember, sportsmanship starts with you.
We watch sports to see the unexpected. We play sports to feel something. Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. But our reputation wasn't given to us, it was earned. We are the rising stars, the grinders, the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. From the backyards and backfields to the back rooms and backstage, we put in the work, and we're starting to reap the rewards. We've got events wacky and wild. Big and small, we host them all. And that old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah, when you come here, you'll believe it. Because in Des Moines, only the essence are silent. Let's go!
And welcome to County Soccer Complex in Des Moines, Iowa, the home of the Iowa High School Athletics Association State Soccer Tournament presented by Farm Bureau. We're here on Field 6 with today's Class 2A quarterfinal between Glenwood and Davenport Assumption. I'm Thomas Campbell, and I am joined by Dar Danielson for this matchup between the number 2 and 7 seeds in the IHSAA's bracket. Dar, we've got a very interesting one. Assumption, with a team with a lot of history, just won a state championship back in 22. Glenwood, no state championships, but they do hold this 2 seed in this year's tournament and are really looking to make some noise.
Yeah, and they've scored a lot more, and when you look at their scores, they have 3 guys in double figures, whereas you look at Davenport Assumption, nobody in double figures, but it seems more spread out. And it's hard to tell looking at the opponents if that's just they've had some big games where they've scored in double digits. Glenwood has, so these 2-7 are always interesting because they try to seed them the best they can, but you never know. One of these 7 seeds is going to sneak up on a 2 seed.
Yeah, Assumption's goalkeeper Bo Stevens will have his hands full today with Glenwood's attacking prowess that they've shown all season. Bo Stevens only given up 9 goals throughout the entire year, so that'll be a matchup to watch to see how well he deals with Glenwood's attack.
Yeah, with 3 guys who are scoring in double digits in goals, it'll be interesting and see how they play. We saw that the first game I did where Storm Lake liked to slow it down and build it up. Well, that didn't work so well because DCG liked to dump it over the top and run. So you figure out what the styles are here and how you have to play, but it's hard, too, to change your style when you get down here. You got to do what you do best, is what most coaches say.
This is Glenwood's first return to the state's tournament since 2014. They are coached by Court Lovato in his 9th season. For Assumption, they are coached by Chad Holmer in just his 2nd season, and this is their 3rd straight appearance at the state tournament here in county.
Yeah, they had state championship 22, runner-up in 23, and then he took over in 23, and then now 24 he gets him back here. So he's kept that legacy going, got him back here. They want to get back on the top step of the podium, though, with that.
We're going to go ahead and look at each team's road to the state tournament. The Davenport Assumption is 10-7. They defeated Williamsburg in the sub-state 5th bracket, whereas Glenwood with a record of 14-4 and defeated Carroll in the 8th sub-state bracket. Adam Severin had 19 goals across this season. Nolan Clark with 10. Those are 2 of those double-figure players, as you were mentioning, whereas for Assumption it was Aiden Nucci with 5 and Evan Bolt with 3 throughout the season. Bo Stevens, like I just said, one to watch, 46 saves with an 84% save percentage on the year. should be a very good matchup for Glenwood's attacking power.
Yeah, and we've seen too at the state tournament, it's always who gets off to a good start, and then if you don't, how do you recover? Because there's always a little bit of emotion and stuff when you get started down here. So it's how you react, because the cliche is it's you're playing 40 minutes, and so you can't. If you get down early, you just have to come back.
With that, we will take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll introduce you the starting lineups for each team and get you ready for this kickoff of the 2A quarterfinal. You're watching free coverage of the quarterfinals provided by the IHSAA. We'll be right back with more. You're watching the 2024 IHSAA State Soccer Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau.
In Iowa, we are fortunate to have a lot of opportunities to get involved in at our schools.
Athletics and activities have so many positive effects.
From learning how to build relationships
and healthy lifestyles.
And gain self-esteem and confidence.
Make participation a priority. You and your school will benefit.
Hello, I'm Brent Johnson, an Iowa farmer from Calhoun County and president of the Iowa Farm Bureau. As proud title sponsor of the state soccer tournament, the Iowa Farm Bureau is dedicated to creating a vibrant future for Iowa through partnerships and programs that help cultivate individuals with great character, a strong work ethic, and exceptional leadership skills. Making it to the state tournament is a great accomplishment that takes a lot of support. That's why we provide millions of dollars in awards, grants, and scholarships that recognize athletic and academic excellence. And to help celebrate this achievement, the Iowa Farm Bureau provides commemorative soccer balls for each team competing in the state tournament. These keepsakes are a great way for these athletes to remember their experience here, as well as the teammates, coaches, parents, teachers, and mentors who've all played an important role in their journey. So, from the Iowa Farm Bureau, congratulations to all the players and coaches on an outstanding season, and good luck in the tournament.
Welcome back to the 2A state quarterfinal between Glenwood and Davenport Assumption. We're going to go to our PA address announcer in just a minute for team introductions, but first we want to talk a little bit more about each of these teams and just what they need to do today to win. Glenwood, obviously, with that attacking power that they have, will probably need to get a few on the board against this Assumption team who has a very strong goalkeeper. They'll need to keep attacking him at the net. What does Assumption need to do to kind of keep up with them?
Well, and, they're coming in as the number 7 seed, and maybe they get a little chip on the shoulder because, hey, we might think we're a little better than that. They just need to, play their game and then identify those scores and not let them, maybe keep control in your half and not let them get out and get many chances at the goal, lock down and keep them from getting those easy shots in front of the goal and maybe control the tempo a little bit more on your side of it.
Yeah, Assumption, one of those teams who almost the class of 2A, they've won 3 state tournaments. They won a state tournament just 2 years ago. They've been to the state tournament 3 times in a row, probably feeling a little bit like they should be higher than a 7 seed, but nonetheless, that is where they will play. Do you think that gives them a little bit of a chip on their shoulder?
Oh, yeah, it probably does because, and plus maybe you can play with a little more. We have nothing to lose because it is pressure, too, when you're coming in as the 2 seed and the 1 seed in here. Everybody expects you to do well, and if you don't, and when it comes down to it, that means nothing, the seeding. It's a way to kind of match you up, but when it comes down to it, you just have to play your game and the cliche, score one more than the other team does, to win. But it'll be interesting to see. And then when you haven't played a team, you get down here at state, it takes a little while sometimes to figure out what they're doing. You may have scouted them a little bit, but you still have to figure out as play goes on and how they adjust the play and how you need to adjust the play to what they're doing.
Like what you said there about how, seeding is just a way to match you up. At the end of the day, you're at state. You're one of the best state teams in the state of your class, and you have to be prepared to play.
And the media, and we like to talk a lot about those seeds, number 7 upset number 2, but if you do it, that's fine and it makes it better. But what you're ultimately playing for is the biggest trophy and to be the last one standing when it comes to the end of the tournament.
Exactly, and we will send it over to our PA announcer for team introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Iowa High School Athletic Association and the City of Des Moines welcome you to County Soccer Park and the 2024 Boys State Soccer Tournament. This quarterfinal match in Class 2A features the Knights of Assumption and the Rams of Glenwood. Let's meet the players and coaches of both teams. For the visiting team on the scoreboard, the Knights of Assumption, introducing the non-starters and assistant coaches. Number 0, Joe Tallman. Number 2, Connor Frank. Number 7, Alex Brogini. Number 8, Luke Jennings. Number 12, Nate Martin. Number 13, Carter Burkhart. Number 14, Will Langrer. Number 15, Jackson Beck. Number 17, Cesar Morales. Number 19, Andrew Gimbel. Number 20, Michael Lynch. Number 21, Harold Awukang. And number 23, Asher Langen. Assistant coaches, Sam Brown and Mitchell Gutteridge. Now for the home team on the scoreboard, the Rams of Glenwood. Introducing the non-starters and assistant coaches. Number 0, Colin Steele. Number 2, Trace Johnson. Number 5, Cameron King. Number 8, Andrew Abler. Number 9, Blake Sneed. Number 12, Josh Liu. Number 16, Gavin Abbott. Number 21, Trevor Hargens. Number 22, Hunter Purvis. Assistant coach, Jeff Johnson. Introducing the starting lineup for Assumption. A freshman, number 3, Jerry Matuszewski. A senior, number 4, Gus Stevens. A sophomore, number 5, Ben Leinert. Senior, number 6, Liam Ryan. Senior, number 9, Sam McCarty. The senior, number 10, Evan Bolt. A freshman, number 16, Aiden Newsey. Senior number 18, Billy Moore. A freshman number 22, Max Papish. Junior number 24, John O'Brien. And in goal this afternoon, the sophomore number 1, Bo Stevens. The Knights, with a record of 10-7, are coached by Chad Palmer. Introducing now the starting lineup for Glenwood. A sophomore number 3, Jose Diaz. A senior number 4, Nolan Clark. A junior number 6, Virginio Rangel. Senior number 7, Court Levato Jr. And a junior number 12, Josh Liu. Freshman number 10, Jace Tallman. Senior number 13, Riley McEwen. Senior number 14, Adam Sovereign. Sophomore number 15, Aaron Christian. Junior number 17, Landon McGoldrick. And in goal, the junior number 1, Ryan Turner. The Rams with a record of 14-4 are coached by Court Lovato. The officials for this game as assigned by the Iowa High School Athletic Association. Center referee, Justin Moore. Your AR1, Nick Erdman. AR2 is Jared T. And the fourth official is Peter Burgum. The field is yours for play. Good luck.
And you just heard the starting lineups from the PA announcer, but we're going to go ahead and run over those one more time. First for Assumption, starting in the net is number 1, Bo Stevens, and then a back four from left to right. Number 5, Ben Leinert. Number 4, Gus Stevens. Number 22, Max Papage. Number 24, Josh O'Brien. A midfield trio complete of number 18, Billy Moore. Number 10, Evan Bolt. Number 6, Liam Ryan. And then a front three of number 3, Jerry Majewski. Number 9, Samuel McCarty, and number 16, Aiden Nucci. On the side of the home Glenwood Rams, number 1, Ryan Turner in the net. A back four of number 3, Jose Diaz. Number 12, Josh Leu. Number 15, Aaron Christian. Number 17, Landon McGoldrick. A midfield trio of number 14, Adam Svern. Number 10, Jace Tallman. Number 7, Court Lovato Jr. Number 4, Nolan Clark. Number 6, Virginio Rangel. Number 13, Riley McEwen. Sounds like some very strong lineups out on the field as we are just getting set to start play in this 2A quarterfinal. What do you expect to see from both teams today? How do you think the conditions out here at County will affect this?
I think, well, we talked about this in a couple other games. A lot of teams, most of them play on the artificial surface, so the grass is a little different to play on. You may not get the roll as far as you think. Now, the wind, a little bit of wind here may not play as big a role into it, but, you know, it's cool out here. The heat shouldn't. That's another thing when you get, even when it's cool and you get the heat on the turf, your turf is always a little hotter than the grass is. So the playing conditions are almost perfect here today for that. So, you know, getting used to a little bit, you might have to punch that ball just a little more, get a little more roll on the grass, but we'll see how they adjust as we go along.
Before we begin today's game, we'd like to once again thank the Iowa Farm Bureau for presenting the 2024 IHSAA State Soccer Tournament. As sole title sponsor of Iowa High School Athletic Association, Farm Bureau recognizes athletic and academic achievement on the field and in the classroom, helping to nurture Iowa's future leaders. Just about get set to get underway as McCarty will kick this off for Assumption. And this 2A quarterfinal is underway here between Assumption and Glenwood. Glenwood controlling possession early, but quickly giving it away to Clark down the line. Clark just managing to stay strong. Now Severn, the leading goal scorer, gives it away. This is where we will look to see Glenwood really try to get on the attack early.
Yeah, get those big scorers in there first.
Being pinballed around, a very physical play to be Clark committing the foul there on Glenwood.
Yeah, and you get that early adrenaline too, and you're kind of jumping in there, diving in there.
Be Stevens to take this early free kick for Assumption. Not even a minute gone into the game. This could be a dangerous opportunity. Send that in. High lofted ball. Touch on it, and now it's Nucci with the shot. Just saved out of bounds. This is a great save there from Turner.
Well, they say they got a ricochet because they're giving a goal kick. So
interesting.
Yeah, it must have hit off the Glenwood, or off the Assumption player coming off that ricochet.
Glenwood going pretty quickly, but giving the ball away immediately. Out wide with it now is Nucci. Here comes a, can't tell if that was a cross or a shot, but regardless, did not find its target. If it was a cross, Majewski is.
I think he's trying to maybe bend it in, but yeah, just a little wide.
Assumption quickly back on the ball. They've done very well at getting to it today. Goldrick just taking it away for Glenwood. And just can't keep it in there. First throw-in of the day coming for Davenport Assumption.
And I think on the grass we'll see them, sometimes you catch your cleats a little more because it's a beautiful field, but sometimes it's not quite as even across as you get with the turf.
Leinart now with the cross. And just fumbled, and it finds its way into the net. That looked like Nucci on the end of it. Ryan Turner has to be disappointed there as Assumption strikes early, just 2.5 minutes into this game.
Yeah, the keeper looked like he had a control of it, but...
Take a quick look at that here.
Yeah, came across. He came up in the air, but he lost it coming down, and it just laid there easy pickings to knock into the goal.
Phenomenal ball there from Ben Leinart as we are right back underway. Glenwood will look to respond early. Billy Moore just back out to the goal scorer, Nucci, on the right sideline.
Well, Assumption, just exactly what you want to do. Score first, and there's offside.
Early offside call there coming on McCarty. Ryan Turner surely has to be disappointed giving that up. As it was in his hands, and it just fell. But now here a chance as Rangel was running onto that, just cleared out of bounds.
Yeah, a play you make 1,000 times, you go up, you get it. He's coming down, and somehow, I don't know if he got contact with another player, but knocked out of his hands and left right there on the open goal.
Diaz will just reset this. Immediately taken away by McCarty for the Knights. Now Nucci is free. Gets behind the defense. Just dragged down. A free kick in a very dangerous position coming up for the Knights.
Davenport look like they're starting a little faster right now on this field compared to Glenwood, and maybe then that goal too didn't help. It kind of set Glenwood back maybe just a little bit.
Definitely off the front foot are Davenport as Diaz just pulled down Nucci. Got him by the back of the shirt. There wasn't a lot of contact, but just enough to bring Nucci to the ground. Dangerous position here for Assumption. Will be Stevens to take this free kick. The in-swinger coming, and it's just over the bar there for a goal kick. Dangerous shot. It was well struck as that's once again taken quickly by Glenwood.
Yeah, it's about a foot high. Otherwise, it's angling in.
Leinart now flying to the ball. He had the assist on the last goal, puts in another cross.
There goes the ball, Riley. You're all right.
Nucci looking to just save that. Nolan Clark dropped quite deep now.
Just missed it. He had his teammate on the wing there, but
Machashevsky just narrowly keeping that on the line. A great run down the sideline here. Just cuts that back in. Can't manage to find anyone as it falls to Ryan. Immediately taken away. That ball sent up for Rangel. And he just wins the race to it. Bring that down closer to the end line. Rangel, and it's just tapped out of bounds by Papich. Goes out for the first corner of the game for Glenwood. I'll tell you, Assumption has been first to every single 50-50 ball today.
Yeah, except for that last one where Rangel came in, kind of gave a little shoulder dip and got to the ball. But, yeah, they just appear a little faster right now.
Rangel to take this, and it's just knocked away. Nucci will just clear that deep as it falls back to Leu, who just kicks it right out of bounds off the official's tent.
Now Davenport's going to turn and go when they get that ball.
Quick throw in there and then cleared out. Just pinballing around on the sidelines over there. Goes out for a Glenwood throw-in. Moore there showing his strength and just clipped to be clipped by Tallman of Glenwood.
Maybe not such a bad thing. Allows the defense to get back there. It's out by the half, so.
Potentially a tactical foul there.
Yeah.
Allow your defense to recover and make Assumption put in a good ball. It will be Stevens to take this once again. for the Knights. Stevens, a low-driven ball. And just headed off by Leyu, it appeared.
Yeah, almost an own goal there.
Fantastic save by Ryan Turner, making up for his mistake earlier in the half.
And that's a tough one when you're leaning back to try to head out because your angle's all wrong. You're just better to let the keeper get it there, but fortunately he was awake. Turner ready to go.
Sparren sends that deep. The ball intended for Engel, but just unable to find him. Assumption possessing the ball very well today. They've been very crisp with their passes. Not that one. They give it away to Lovato.
Of course, about the time you say that, they have a bad pass.
Ball in for Rangel. Rangel just free in the shot. Phenomenal save there from Stevens to get down to his near post.
Yeah, I had to make that sophomore dive down for that one.
Punt quickly taken away by Leyu. Little miscommunications as Severin picks it up in the middle. Pass for Clark, just
yeah, it seems like the pace right now has got Glenwood a little back on their heels with the fast Assumption's moving the ball right now.
Assumption, despite the length and the unevenness of the grass, which can slow the ball up, playing very quickly as Nucci with it once again. Has it taken away by Severin. But that's been the issue with Glenwood for this first 10 minutes, is they've been unable to do anything getting forward. That will fall to Maciejewski. Just driving in, fire shot just blocked away, and that looks to be heading out of bounds for another Assumption corner kick.
Hey, you mentioned it, Glenwood, they're getting maybe 1-2 passes, then that third pass they just let it go and they aren't connecting with anybody. They need to do more to connect more passes to get it up the field.
You said it there. We like to call them thirds. Their thirds aren't connected, and it's that the first two, they're managing to break through, but they can't find a way into that final third. Is that pass played by Leinert and just knocked out of bounds, looked to be off of the head of Stevens. Glenwood going short once again. Deep ball immediately taken away. Here's McCarty on it. That's cleared all the way up to Rangel. Bolt dispossessed. Just sent away by Stevens as Glenwood allowed to reconnect, and that offside coming on Samuel McCarty. Glenwood now picking up the tempo off of that quick free kick.
Well, that back line of Davenport Assumption not letting anybody get through behind him there.
Yeah, Assumption throw in right at midfield. Ball played into Maciejewski as he will just head that over, trying to flick someone on. No one's there to receive it though. Svern with a phenomenal ball, just unable to find Clark there. Those are the kind of passes that Glenwood's really been looking for all game, trying to get their attackers down into the corners instead of across.
Yeah. And they didn't connect, but at least they got the defense back and they forced them to push it out. Now they can play it in their half here and try to connect on some of those passes.
Goldrick just holding past half. Lovato with a ball in. Rangel looking to run on this. Just loses the race to Stevens, who will send that out on the clearance. Quick throw in here for Glenwood. Severn, the double-digit goal scorer, has it taken away by Bolt. McCarty just unable to find the patch to Nucci, the goal scorer. This to be the first sub of the day for Assumption. The number 21, Harold Awakening, replacing number 16, Aiden Nucci. Or I apologize, number 20, Michael Lynch. Ball played in for Lynch, unable to get onto it. Ryan just gliding through defenders, can't find the pass to Maciejewski there. We'll go all the way back out to Maciejewski now.
Come back to his right.
Maciejewski with the cross. Looking for Lynch, unable to find him, but it will fall all the way back to O'Brien, who will just send that out for a Glenwood goal kick.
Glenwood needs to take a page out of Davenport's book. They're spreading out wide and bringing it back in. Glenwood has been trying to punch it into that middle, and the Davenport defenders just been bunching up in there. They need to get the wings out wider and then back in.
You said it exactly. It's almost as Glenwood have been just a little bit too narrow in the central third, which is allowing Assumption to really just pounce on that ball whenever it's passed around. Free kick coming here for Gus Stevens. Assumption still leading 1-0 after the early goal from Aiden Nucci. Played all the way back up to Rangel, who just headed on.
Yeah, but there's nobody back there. That's the thing.
That ball played off of Tallman. Tallman just unable to keep it in bounds. Could have been a great opportunity for Glenwood. Tallman now gives it over to Svern. Svern with a ball into Rangel. Just unable to get on it. Now McCarty fighting with Diaz down in the corner.
Seems like Davenport has somebody there contesting every time Glenwood gets a touch on the ball.
That's exactly what they're doing. No easy touches for Glenwood here. Tallman plays that ball, looking for Rangel. He had McKepp all the way down the sideline, just unable to find him. Phenomenal touch there from Lynch as Assumption going forward once again. Ball just reset back to Leinert.
Great turn, and then he draws a foul.
Moore just taken down there. Another dangerous opportunity for Assumption to get a second goal here in this first half. I was able to speak with Coach Holmer before this game, and he's in a 4-5-1, doing exactly what he wanted to do, overloading that midfield and cutting off Glenwood's passes. Stevens to take this free kick from a very dangerous position. High and lofted, finds its way all the way to the back post. Lynch was there, just unable to get ahead on it. Goes out for a Glenwood goal kick.
Yeah, he wasn't far off from that, just out of the reach.
Just sent away. Ryan gets ahead on it. Tallman looking for Rangel once again. Find its way all the way back to Lovato. Goes out for another throw-in for Assumption.
Davenport just harassing them when they get the ball, forcing them to get rid of it faster than they want to.
Lynch on it, leaves it for Moore. Moore with some fancy footwork, looking to get it into McCarty. Goes just out for another Glenwood goal kick. Ball just touched there by Severin. Maciejewski on this in the corner of the box. Trying to cut inside, unable to. Here comes the shot, blocked away by Severin. Severin did a great job getting in front of that shot. Wind starting to pick up here. You can see it in that ball, just getting held up.
Yeah, and you heard our mics carrying across.
Wind played quite a difference in the girls' state tournament games yesterday, and as it picks up, just might do the same today. That ball played in, intended for Tallman. Gets a head on it, and he's free. We'll give it over to Clark. Clark with the shot just blocked away. Assumption doing a great job there to get back and
Yeah, but Glenwood got some numbers up that time. They got people up there, they slowed it, and they looked for the pass in.
Ball played all the way back to Lovato and over to Diaz. That taken away, a great touch from Moore. And here come Assumption on the attack once again. Majaszewski just able to keep that in. Assumption doing exactly what they wanted to do, overloading that midfield, not giving Glenwood any easy passes. Majaszewski clipped down, but no foul there. Ref said
he played the ball, I think he said, yeah.
Going down the line for Rengel. Rengel just shoved off it by Leinert, showing his strength. Ball unable to find its way into McCarty. Diaz loses his footing, and here comes Lynch. Just can't get it to McCarty as Davenport attended to get on the counterattack. Will be Bolt just being shoved to the ground there. Another very dangerous position here for Assumption.
Yeah, they're just playing everything right in their end right now.
Will be Gus Stevens to take this once again. He's played a few very good balls to the back post. Could see something similar here. Or with the win, he might even attempt to go for goal and challenge Ryan Turner. Stevens with it. Will go for goal, but no challenge at all for Turner as he's just able to collect that.
Yeah, it looked like trying to finesse it into that right corner, but it held up enough for the keeper. Oh, there you see that one hanging way up in the wind.
Just dealt with by Leinert. Assumption back on the attack once again. Here comes Bolt with the ball. Ball into McCarty, but just able to get to it is McGoldrick and send that out for another Assumption corner. They've been very dangerous on these on the cross.
And he laid that pass in beautifully to McCarty. If the defender doesn't come over, he's got a nice look.
Another substitution for the Knights. It's Connor Frink coming in, replacing Samuel McCarty. Will be Bolt taking this for Assumption. There's a driven ball in. Just a head on it from Stevens, but just over the bar. Gus Stevens got up for that. Just unable to keep the header down. More substitutions for each team.
Nice delivery in there. Just
it was driven. It was a perfect ball.
Yeah, just a little bit over it.
Stevens just unable to keep it down. A few substitutions coming back in. Aiden Nucci returning to the game for the Knights. As well as Andrew Abler coming in. That ball sent in, intended for Lynch. Bolt now with it. Just dancing around the foot of Abler.
Stay with it.
Abler coming on, showing some immediate hustle and intensity, exactly what Glenwood needs right now if they are trying to get back in this game just a quarter way through here. Bolt unable to complete the slide as Tallman taking it down the field. Out for a throw-in to be taken by Diaz.
Yeah, wisely cleared that out. Let your teammates get back on defense. Now can they spread it out a little bit?
Ball just played in, intended for Rangel and headed away by Stevens. Glenwood getting more forward now than they have for the rest of the game, but unable to capitalize whatsoever. Have not challenged Bo Stevens as much as we thought they would.
One outside. One outside.
Great ball there from Bolt into the goal scorer, Nucci. Nucci, the left footer, unable to get any real kind of power on that as he was taken down by Abler. Ball will just fall to Turner. That punt, Abler manages to get a foot on it. Looked like it was headed out of bounds.
Yeah, you might want to think about rolling it out because it's hanging up there short, and that makes it a 50-50 almost for anybody.
Frink just dancing around players, tried to get a cross into the back post, and Glenwood just able to step in front of it as it goes all the way back to Stevens here. Give it over to Papich. Votto looking for Rangel. First time Rangel's really been on the ball today. He'll just lose it here as there'll be more taking it up the field, and Lovato takes that away. A lot of battles being done in the midfield. Ball played in by Severin. Severin just committing the foul, extending the arm.
Yeah.
That one was pretty clear.
His foot came up short of the ball. If he gets a piece of the ball, maybe they let that go a little bit. But, yeah, then he just extended the arm out, and it was easy one to call.
Gus Stevens been a rock in the back for the Knights so far as he'll send that deep, looking for Frink. That bounces through all the way back to Ryan Turner.
Yeah, that made it a little more dicey than what it should be after that bounce because it was kind of hanging up there.
Votto looking for Nolan Clark on the deep pass, just headed out of bounds by O'Brien. Be Diaz to take this for Glenwood. Just slowing up play, allowing players to get a breather. Severin able to keep that as Moore was pressuring. Ball sent over to McGoldrick. Severin now the leading scorer for Glenwood. Hasn't put much of an impact on today's game as Stevens just clears that off the back of Abler.
I think they should have gone outside a little earlier. They have him coming over there up the right side, get it to him, and then he can look back inside. But they haven't been able to get on that outside too much here, Glenwood.
Substitution now for Assumption. Matt Shaveski returning to the game in place of Lynch.
Officials having a little conversation here.
Ball in from Leinert. Fornucci just can't find him. Severin now looking to put an impact on this game. Plays a ball deep into the corner and just cleared out by Papich. Doing exactly what he needed to do. That ball looked to be intended for Nolan Clark.
Yeah, but he had a long ways to go to get to it. That was the problem.
Votto a ball in for Tallman. Just touched out wide. Tallman manages to keep it in, and it'll go out off of Josh O'Brien for a Glenwood throw-in. Maciejewski just able to clear. Only gets as far as Diaz, but here comes the great goalkeeper Bo Stevens up to claim.
Well, that's as deep a penetration they've gotten in a while, and got a long shot. It'd been nice if they'd been able to work it in a little more.
First time Stevens had touched the ball in almost 20 minutes as Turner will come out to claim that as Frank was giving some pressure there to the Glenwood defense.
Yeah, Davenport's not going to wait on you. They're going to turn it around and counter real quick. So
Stevens just clearing that deep. Frank running onto it once again. Turner out to claim. Getting a little more dicey for Glenwood as Frink gets ever closer to that ball. Severin ball deep into Abler, just touched away by Leinert. Now, Nucci just unable to keep that in bounds. Ball just off the foot of Abler. Substitution now for Assumption. Be Asher Langen coming into the game, replacing Liam Ryan. Ball headed through, intended for Nucci. Stevens and Wrangler finally able to get past Stevens, and here he goes. Wrangler still holding on to the ball, and here comes Stevens right back to take that away, and just fouled by Wrangler as he did.
We'll see a little frustration there as it seemed like he was breaking through and then ends up pushing the defender.
Deepest they had gotten in a while. Ball finds its way all the way down to Frink. Assumption in a very dangerous spot to make this a 2-0 game. Just tapped out of bounds.
Another corner.
By Leu. Corner incoming for the Knights. Will be Leinert to take it. Along with Bolt going over there to give support. Nucci, the only goal scorer today, as well as the leading goal scorer for Assumption today, as the ball's played short. Leinert now coming in, will fire a shot. And just over the bar, just wide. Maybe one where he wasn't quite sure what he wanted to do, whether fire a shot or make the cross.
Yeah, I wasn't sure to try to get to ahead of a teammate or to go. Kind of got in between.
That quickly taken away by Bolt. He'll play it into Nucci, and Nucci is free. Nucci with the left footer. Just wide of the post. Aiden Nucci with a brilliant opportunity there to double the Knights' lead.
And Turner just enough to the left of the goal to make him have to go across him, and just wide.
Bolt played a wonderful pass in there, and Nucci just unable to get it, but Turner had his post covered.
Well, that's the thing we're seeing out of Davenport. You don't see many passes where the ball goes into empty space. They all seem like they have a purpose, and we're not seeing a lot of that out of Glenwood, connecting those passes to somebody.
Bolt just setting this to Stevens here. Nucci now into the back. Leinert with the cross. Will go all the way across. Intended for O'Brien, unable to find him. Langen just pursuing, and now it falls to Frink. Frink quickly dispossessed by Tallman, and now just takes down Dahlman, and it'll be the first free kick for Glenwood of the game. Just 11 minutes left to play here in the first half of this 2A quarterfinal. Ball played deep by Leu. Finds its way all the way back to Papich and just cleared out. Find its way out of bounds for a Glenwood throw-in. Few Glenwood subs waiting to come in. There the ball, looking for Rangel. Rangel manages to keep it and will play a ball in. Tended for Tallman, just taken away by the Assumption defense. Moore and Severin, two big-bodied players showing their strength there.
Right at each other.
Lovato the ball in. Can't find anyone, and now Frink with the chance to run onto this. Christian does a brilliant job there. But Assumption coming right back up the field now with Moore. Down to Maciejewski. Maciejewski with the cross. And that is nowhere to be found as that'll travel over the bar. A substitution now to be made for Glenwood. Will be number 9, Blake Sneed, coming into the game. Frank just unable to get that ball played deep. Just out of bounds by Papich, or not out of bounds.
He's kept it alive over there.
Stevens now just sends that actually out of bounds that time.
Glenwood, a lot of players walking around slowly like they're tired, and Davenport has really pushed the tempo here.
McEwen returning to the game, but this time on that left side rather than the right side. Diaz will get it into Tallman here and just immediately taken away by Langen. I think that's been the difference here, is that Glenwood has held very little possession compared to Assumption. That ball played in, just dealt with easily by Bo Stevens.
Yeah, anytime they get a shot, most of it's been deep. They haven't been able to move it around much.
Ball played deep with the win, and Frink will find a way to get on that. That just takes a few bounces. Frink out wide to Nucci now. Nucci playing that ball in, it'll just hold up. Turner able to grab that, just being clattered into by Maciejewski.
Yeah, that was close to being a foul there, and I think that's what Glenwood's arguing is, hey, he ran into our keeper up in the air.
Officials usually told to protect the keeper, and Maciejewski looked like he might have also caught a little shove in the back there as he clattered in. Substitution now for Assumption as Samuel McCarty returns to the game, placing Connor Frink.
Heads up, Black. Got a lot of time. Let's go.
Moore just able to keep that, and now that ball down the line to Nucci. Fantastic there. Nucci showing some of his speed, getting down towards the end line.
Yeah, again, every touch, precision passing, it seems like, out of Davenport. They're sending the ball somewhere. They're not just booting it ahead.
Leinert now. Just resetting it back as Bolt with it. Ball sent into Maciejewski, so dangerous on those corners with his speed. O'Brien managing to get it in. A touch there. That somehow doesn't find its way in off the McCarty attempted bicycle kick. Turner did phenomenal to get a hand to it and just slow down the momentum of that ball.
Wow, that would have been something. He got a foot on that.
Moore with a touch there. Ball just cleared away, all the way up the field to Abler. Foul now back in the Glenwood half. Here's a replay of that opportunity just now. Turner does a fantastic job. McCarty just doesn't quite connect with it, as Turner also falling to the ground manages to get a body on it and keep that out of the net. That ball played deep into Tallman. Tallman will just reset it back. Here comes McGoldrick down the sideline. Goldrick with the cross, just headed away. Goldrick finds it at his feet again. We'll play in another cross. This one controlled by Bolt. And here comes Assumption. So dangerous on that counterattack as they will play it deep into McCarty. Turner out of his box to clear.
That's the first time we've seen Glenwood get it outside and then try to, cross it in.
Ball finds its way to Nucci. McGoldrick just able to take that away. Glenwood now with the chance to counterattack. Stern will just hold that up. Back to Tallman. Tallman, the ball into Abler. Vern gets the ball back. Fancy footwork from Lovato there. Keep it in. Bolt doing what he's done all game and just being in the right spot to take that away. Winning possession back for Assumption.
Well, if you're looking up and you're dribbling in three guys, you got to look through, somewhere else to get the ball.
Ryan just sends that in deep for McCarty. Just taken away by Diaz here. Ball deep in behind, intended for McEwen. Ewan just unable to get quite enough on it. Now here comes Moore. McCarty is free. That ball intended for McCarty. He'll get a foot on it, not enough. Turner out to claim. McCarty just a missed touch off the volley there.
Yeah, he tried to take that on the run and just could not get full balance. turn on that shot.
Turner will just send that deep once again, and once again it gets held up in the wind a little bit. Nucci with the first touch on that punt, and here comes Aiden Nucci with his speed down the sideline. Just touched away by Sneed.
Entering a key time here in the final 3 minutes. Glenwood wants to get on the board, but Assumption wants to get that extra insurance goal here, so it's a big stretch in this final 3 minutes, and can Glenwood keep them off the board again, and can they get something going and maybe get something on offense and even it up here before the half?
Substitution for each team as Clark comes back in for Glenwood, Ryan back in for Assumption. Sverin with the ball deep. No one down there, though, as that was intended for Abler, who will just run on, give pressure. Stevens just taps that out of bounds. Glenwood now with the chance with just 2:40 left to equalize this game. And now over to Lovato. Lovato plays it in deep. Will find its way all the way back. The ball across the box. Tallman gets on it. Stevens is there, and it's kind of just backing around. Looks like Stevens has it.
Yeah, he's got possession, yeah.
Very close one in there. Looks to be, can't tell if that was a foul, but we'll take another look at that. As was Clark down there getting the cross, and Tallman with the touch, and
hey, good ball.
Stevens just does a great job there to get on that, cover it up. Stop play. Less than 2 minutes left to play here.
Gus Stevens right in there with Bo Stevens, both trying to block it. Oh, that's as close as Glenwood has come here to getting one in the back of the net.
Ball played in deep by Gus Stevens. Controlled by McGoldrick. Ball played in, could find its way through. It's now with Abler. Abler just is possessed by Gus Stevens. Minute 40 left, and Stevens taken out behind the play there. Looks to be a card coming out for Abler. This is Andrew Abler, the senior forward, with the card there. Means he will be out for the remainder of this half. You can see just behind the play, caught him. There wasn't a lot of contact there, but showing a little bit of frustration there was Abler. Onto the field comes Gavin Abbott, the replacement, the sophomore midfielder. Minute 30 left to play in this half. In high school, following a yellow card, you do have to serve a 10-minute suspension in the game, so that will carry on to the second half for Andrew Abler. Gus Stevens to play this in deep. They've been threatening out of the air today, and here that comes. Intended for Nucci, just headed out of bounds by Christian. Corner kick incoming for the Knights. Will be Evan Bolt to take this.
Could be a big swing here.
Bolt, that's a high lofted ball to the back post. Nucci just unable to get a head on it, and that will drift out of bounds for a goal kick for Glenwood.
Davenport, knocks that in and makes it a whole different look toward the half, but
correction, half.
Glenwood.
Bolt will just tap that up to Moore. Cardi getting chasing. Moore gets it right back here. Chance for Davenport maybe to get one last attack here with 30 seconds left. There's Maciejewski going around, showing some fancy footwork. Gets down to the end line, sends it across, and that just a little too far and a little too wide. Go out of bounds with 25 seconds left. Bolt taking that quick goal kick away immediately, but Byrne will send that up to Clark. Likely not enough time for something left, but here comes Nucci as the clock ticks down.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Nucci with the cross. McCarty attempted a little bit of a scissor kick there, but just unable to get anything on it. We will be back to take a look at the first half. You're watching free coverage of quarterfinal action provided by the IHSAA. We'll be right back with more from the Iowa High School Athletic Association State Soccer Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau.
We've got a phenomenal staff, and they're very committed to not just our 360 some schools, but the 70,000 male athletes that we provide programs for. That's what we try to keep in focus as much as possible, and that keeps us going. That's the fuel that kind of makes that train run.
Been with the Athletic Association 22 years. Currently one of the assistant directors under Mr. Keating, and serve in the capacity working with our student outreach services, and also am the bowling administrator, former golf administrator, and then work with our corporate sponsors and advertisers with regard to association publications, website.
So currently I'm the administrator for football, swimming, and track and field. As part of that, it's helping schools and officials with rules interpretations, organizing the state events at our different venues, communicating with officials, hiring officials, and assigning officials for the postseason competition.
I'm the director of officials, and then I'm also the sport administrator for wrestling and golf.
I help manage all the officials in the state of Iowa, make sure they're fully registered and have all their stuff completed prior to the season's beginning and the postseason.
Right now I oversee the administrative sports of basketball and soccer.
So assistant director here at State Association. I'm a sports administrator for cross country, tennis, and baseball. I do our student advisory group, and I'm one of the 3 directors that helps with eligibility.
I am an administrative assistant here at the Iowa High School Athletic Association. I help out with the enrollment in beds and participation survey and the co-op sharing agreements for schools.
My position's evolved because our communication method has switched completely online from a print or driven organization that had its own print shop to now ADs online, supers online, fans online, parents online, students online. Everybody wants to see everything, so our website became our priority. Social media exploded because it had to. We've had to digitize our operations, and so as communications director, that means coming up with a lot of new things and new ways to do things.
Internal employee type things, benefits, payrolls, things like that. I do the internal financial statements.
I assist in the accounting department, so I assist Jess as the director of finance. So I deal with all our accounts receivables and our accounts payables, and I am also assisting her with the online ticketing program, Hometown Ticketing.
I specialize kind of in the student leadership realm and help Chad with some of his workshops and registration behind the scenes. I line up meals at tournaments, hotel rooms, that kind of thing for our board. I'm just kind of the one that learns a little bit of everything and helps wherever I can.
I do all the design work, and then of course print the programs and anything else that needs printed.
I think my primary roles are vision. Where do we want to go? What do we want to be to our schools and our young people? Also, be the public face of the Athletic Association, be the connection between this office and the general public.
I think people often have a misconception of how many people are in this building. I mean, even people in Boone don't understand, no, there's only 14 of us.
When you're a staff of our size, we've got to work together. You can't be in a silo, just kind of hunker down on your part of this. We've got to bounce things off of each other. We have to collaborate. We've got to share ideas, and we've got to jump in and help where we're needed. We've got a leadership meeting every week, and we make sure we go through everything and anything that we should be discussing and trying to figure out how are we going to do this. We have a lot of fun doing what we're doing. Why wouldn't we? We're around sports all day.
For me, it's important because I feel like I'm helping a child. I have a child with high anxiety, and this makes a difference to a child like her. And so it's really cool to be a part of that.
But when the other states look at us and see the programs that we run, see how we run them, I think they say, Iowa does it pretty well.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Frank, when you think Fairway, you think fresh. Is that the winning culture you've tried to create?
Penelope Pineapple, what an unbelievable produce performance. How does your team stay so fresh?
Sunkissed Orange. Is it true Fairway has offered the freshest produce in town since 1938?
What can we say? Our produce is so fresh, we're speechless.
Welcome back to the quarterfinals here at County Soccer Complex in Des Moines. Quarterfinals are free to view here through the IHSAA. IHSAA is proud to be able to highlight student athletes and schools in an easy and accessible way with production from the Central Iowa Sports Network. Thomas Campbell joined by Dar Danielson here at halftime between Assumption and Glenwood. Assumption leads 1-0 thanks to an early goal by Aiden Nucci. Just coming off the hands of Ryan and Turner. We'll go ahead and take a look at that. The beautiful cross in from Leinart, and Turner just unable to get on it. Nucci with just enough a foot to backheel that into the bottom corner. A phenomenal goal by Nucci, but Turner obviously kicking himself there. And Dar, what did you see throughout that first half?
Well, it seemed like they got the first goal, and then Davenport Assumption just seemed faster and to the ball much quicker than Glenwood. They're just, they had it in high gear all the way, and contesting every touch that Glenwood had. Glenwood coming down, and I think they need to spread their shape out a little more offensively and get it out wide and then back in. We saw when they did that, they had a little more success, but I think I was a little surprised. I think Glenwood probably by the speed of Davenport, and Assumption just keeps coming at them, and and then the technical ability too of Davenport. Every time they take a touch and move the ball, it's going somewhere to somebody's feet or in the open space where somebody can run onto it. And Glenwood, too many of these balls like down here where they kick it through and it just goes back, rolls back to the defense, and you don't gain anything. So some probably adjustments in Glenwood. They maybe haven't seen a team as fast as this and move as quickly. And that really puts you in a bad way on defense, because we've seen a lot of it played on this end here. And Glenwood's probably feeling pretty good they didn't give up more goals here in the first half of this.
And before we go to break, we would like to take this opportunity to thank all of the volunteers and individuals that make this and every IHSAA state tournament possible. The IHSAA is made up of 15 full-time staff members. This time we'd like to introduce you to that staff.
Sportsmanship starts with us.
As a student athlete, I need to model good behavior and represent my school appropriately.
That means respecting my teammates, coaches, opponents, the officials, and fans.
If I do that, so will others, and being a good sport becomes a way of life.
To all of Iowa's student athletes getting ready to compete, remember, sportsmanship starts with us.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Frank, when you think Fairway, you think fresh. Is that the winning culture you've tried to create?
Penelope Pineapple, what an unbelievable produce performance. How does your team stay so fresh?
Sunkissed Orange. Is it true Fairway has offered the freshest produce in town since 1938?
What can we say? Our produce is so fresh, we're speechless.
We watch sports to see the unexpected. We play sports to feel something. Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. But our reputation wasn't given to us, it was earned. We are the rising stars, the grinders, the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. From the backyards and backfields to the back rooms and backstage, we put in the work, and we're starting to reap the rewards. We've got events wacky and wild. Big and small, we host them all. And that old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah, when you come here, you'll believe. Because in Des Moines, only the essence are silent. Let's go!
Welcome back to the 2A state quarterfinal between Assumption and Glenwood. We're just about ready to get this second half of play underway, and appears both teams will be starting with the same lineup they brought out the teams with earlier in the first half.
Yeah, and we'll see what adjustments Glenwood made. We'll see if Davenport can keep that gas pedal down to the metal like they have been through that first half here, but it's been quite a heavy pace they've set early on.
Will be Wrangle to kick off for Glenwood when we get underway. Assumption leads 1-0 thanks to a goal from Aiden Nucci just 3 minutes in.
It looks like Decorah is up 1-0 over Perry. Not quite halfway through the second half on the other field over there. That's the one. The winner of that one will play the winner of this one in the semifinals Friday at 1 o'clock.
We are underway here between Glenwood and Assumption once again. Maciejewski showing his pace immediately, getting onto that ball, doing exactly what Assumption did in the first half, but now controlled by McGoldrick and just sent over to Lou and Christian. There's Ryan to take it away immediately for Assumption, getting down the field quick just like they did in the first half. Ball played back in for the goal scorer, Nucci. Nucci with the shot. Just can't get enough bend on that to bend that back into the far corner. Goes out for a Glenwood goal kick.
Yeah, it didn't quite seem like he got his body turned around to get all the way around on that shot.
Was looking to curl that into the far corner, but just didn't have quite enough turn on it as he would have liked. Goalkeeper Turner has had strong showing today despite the early goal. Lovato just loses his footing, and McCarty now on the ball with a chance. Moore just unable to get on that pass, but Bolt just able to get on it and just keeping it in bounds. See, he cuts into the middle. Here's Moore now. So they will reset it out wide to Leinert. Over to Maciejewski. That cross coming in, just headed away by Leu. Ball sent, and Nucci now finds his way back on it. Fires another shot, very similar to the last shot. Just a minute and a half ago. Unable to get enough bend on that and unable to keep it far enough down to find the corner. Glenwood not moving with any real urgency here. A lot of time left to play early in this second half. There goes Lovato with some fancy footwork, playing it deep, up intended for McEwen. McEwen will get it out wide. And McGoldrick just unable to find anyone on the pass. Cleared away by Leinert.
Yeah, they get it so far, and then when they get closer in, that last pass just never seems to be connecting for him.
Unable to find anyone in the final third. That's been the main problem for Glenwood today, who coming into this game had some of the highest scorers in the state, with Adams Varen scoring 19 goals across the season. 19 goals in 18 games is quite impressive, but Glenwood just struggling to this point.
When you look back here at the games, even the losses for the Knights, a lot of one goal losses. You know, it's not like they've been overpowered a lot. They got a 10-7 record, but they played a lot of close games. But here today, they connected it early and got the first goal, and now they've been playing pretty well throughout.
Moore now with the ball. We'll take that down towards the end line. Send in a cross. Headed on the back post for Nucci, and he'll just keep that in. Get it right back out. And Ryan just unable to get a proper foot on the ball to fire the shot away. But here comes O'Brien with the ball. He'll try to take it down. That'll just roll out for a Glenwood goal kick. Rams under a lot of pressure as substitution to be made here for Glenwood. First substitution we've seen in the defense all day for the Rams. Moore easily taken away, but just bodied off the ball by Svern. Those two have been going at it all day. Ball out wide, intended for Clark, just unable to be kept in. Down the field in for Nucci. Nucci not as strong enough touch on it as Diaz will get the ball in quick for Glenwood, moving with much more pace than they did during the first half. Ball once again out of bounds, and here comes a substitution. McGoldrick coming right back into the game, replacing Cameron King. King just in for a second. Ball into Severn. He'll lose it to Nucci. Nucci now plays it up to McCarty. Gets the ball right back as he's cutting into the center. There's Tallman to take it away. Nucci gets it right back, though, and he'll fire a shot just off the legs of Lovato. But now here's Maciejewski. His shot saved by Turner. Turner having still a quite strong game despite the early goal.
Yeah, and he had to look through some traffic there to see where that was going. And did a good job to get the hands out on it.
Goldrick just unable to get it past Bolt as Assumption has been dangerous on the counterattack today as they switch the field over to Nucci. Ball just able to squeak through for McCarty. Deep ball in for Maciejewski. Here comes his cross towards the back post, just off the crossbar. That could have been a stellar goal had it gone in. Not sure if that was the intent from Maciejewski there. This replay here. Maciejewski doing just enough with some fancy footwork, getting it down the field. Bo Stevens comes out to claim that. His first touch of the second half. Did not have to deal with much in that first half. Ball headed in for Nucci. Nucci with a phenomenal touch, and that ball down the line for McCarty. Assumption so dangerous from this corner. Cross comes in, just cleared away by Layu. That could have been horrible for Glenwood. Tallman now just taking it up the field.
It's still under pressure the whole way, bringing it up, as they have been all day.
Ball played in, intended for Rangel. Papich unable to get much of a header on it as Rangel just with a body there, and that just a little too much contact. Lowered the shoulder just enough to draw the foul there, and it was a lot of contact. Not going to say that Papich went down any easier, as that was quite a lot.
But an excellent shading on defense, the way he set up and made him come into him to try to get around.
Deep ball, can't find anyone, and will go all the way back to Christian. will go back to Turner for the first time today. Ball intercepted by O'Brien, and now Sverren doing well to get back on it. And here comes Clark down the sideline. Glenwood been much more threatening in this second half. Sverren with some fancy footwork. He'll fire the shot, takes a redirection, but Bo Stevens just there. Directed right back toward him off of the back of Ryan. McCarty just able to play Maciejewski through. He's got a lot of speed. Here he goes, tries to flick it on to McCarty. McCarty with the shot. Just left a phenomenal strike there from McCarty off the volley.
Just enough of shade by the defender. He couldn't get it around him to get to that post.
We'll take another look at that one real quick. Maciejewski showing his speed and just flicking it on to McCarty. McCarty with a phenomenal strike as it just drifts left of that far post. Ball being played in for Rangel, and that's headed away by Gus Stevens. Rangel able to get on it and being taken to the ground. Argued for a penalty. Rangel now with the ball back on him. Just unable to get a foot on it.
Flags up, offside, I think.
Flag up for offside. The Glenwood fans disappointed with that call. Thought it should have been a penalty on Max Papich as Rangel was taken to the ground in the air there.
That's the first time we've seen that strong counter out of Glenwood, though. Up the middle, they get the ball in there and had a chance to get a play on it.
30 minutes left. All it takes is one attack.
Yeah, I mean, after all this, and seemingly Davenport dominating, but it's still just a one goal here, and they can even it up.
Stevens sends that deep once again into the wind. Turn manages to get it, trying to go to Clark, and O'Brien intercepts. Or now that ball into Rangel. Tallman back over to Sverren. Sverren with the shot from distance, just blocked away by Moore. That missed touch. Rangel now with it in the box. That ball seemed to just deflect off of Gus Stevens as he challenged Rangel there.
Set up the corner now. A chance here for Glenwood.
Glenwood a massive opportunity to equalize here. It will be Lovato to take this on the far sideline. It's been a lot of attack from the Rams so far in this half, doing exactly what Assumption did to them in the first half and just bringing it. Lovato now that's driven out wide, and Nucci manages to get on it. Assumption could be dangerous with the counterattack, but just touched away. Here comes Moore driving down the sideline. Ball in, stopped by Diaz, falls right back to Moore. And Moore there, just a little too much of a shove. Puts his shoulder into Diaz. That will go for a Glenwood free kick. They'll go quickly once again, trying to get on the attack. That ball played in for Rangel. Able to get to him. It falls to Bolt here. Out wide. Maciejewski a chance to show his speed in the far channel once again. Cross in here. Coming in for Nucci, who will just settle that. And here's the shot. Not enough there, and Turner, no real problem getting to it. It was headed out anyways.
Not much speed on that as he turned.
Nucci just unable to connect as well as he would have liked. Ball played in by Sverren. Will trickle all the way out of bounds. Just stay in on the line. That was quite the close one. Come all the way back out to Sverren. Switch the field over to Lovato. Some fighting there for Lovato, and he'll drift out wide. A great chance here. Lovato down towards the end line. Cross comes in, just stopped by Papich, but Clark gets the ball right back for the Rams. He's taken down by Moore, but Moore gets the ball first. McCarty now with the dangerous run. Just unable to get it away from Christian, who will keep it for Glenwood. Heads out of bounds off of McCarty for a Glenwood throw-in. becoming ever more physical here in this 2A quarterfinal as Barron plays that ball deep in for McEwen. Unable to fully control that. Fall to Maciejewski. And there goes Bolt with a brilliant burst of speed, getting all the way down to the end line. Bolt just unable to get it on the frame. Will go out for, well, the ref no signal yet on what that came out for.
Because of the AR signaled substitution, but he didn't signal if it was a corner or.
Appears to be a corner, just
yeah, it must be corner.
Touched out of bounds. 2 substitutions being made, or a substitution made for each team as Lynch returns to the lineup for Assumption. Be Bolt to take that. Bolt the low-driven corner. And that'll sneak through all the way back to Nucci. Nucci doubles his total in this 2A quarterfinal. As that corner kick from Bolt just snuck all the way back to the back post. We'll go ahead and take another look at that real quick. A low corner kick from Bolt, and no one able to get a touch on it. Nucci just in the right place.
It seemed like it was just slowly rolling across there, and Nucci said, okay, boom, and popped it right in.
Nucci doubling his total, raising his goal total for the season up to 7. He leads the Knights in scores. 26 minutes left to play, and not a lot of time now for Glenwood. They want to get back into this, but a 2-0 lead is still the most dangerous lead in soccer because it only takes one to shift the momentum.
They can't, I think they called for a sub, but it's Glenwood's throw, so they can't sub on the other team's throw, right?
I think they attempted to stop the clock as well, and weren't able to do that as the ball right back into Christian here on the near sideline.
As the 340 comes rolling through on the road track.
That ball played all the way up to Clark, just taken away by O'Brien. O'Brien now the ball into McCarty. McCarty in a very dangerous position here on the far side of the box. Doing just enough to keep it. We'll send it back to Bolt. Find its way back to O'Brien, who started this counterattack for the Knights. Barron just unable to find anything deep, but will find Clark on the near sideline. Now it's back to Lovato. Clark now with plenty of green space in front of him, chooses not to drive down that sideline. Stolen away by Ryan.
They call that out.
Close call right on the line there. They're just unable to keep it in play.
Now they get a chance to get the subs in that they were waiting on.
Maciejewski and Frink returning to the lineup for the Knights. Replacing the goal scorer Nucci as well as the striker McCarty. 24 minutes left to play in this 2A quarterfinal matchup between the 2-seeded Glenwood and the 7-seeded Davenport Assumption. Ball sent away now with Bolt as he'll send that one in deep for Lynch. Lynch uses his speed, gets behind. The touch there from Frink, just unable to find its way into the net. Frink got up, put a really brilliant touch on it, but it just drifted wide. Not a lot of time, just 23 minutes left for Glenwood to attempt to equalize this game as Bolt taken away as he has done so many times. Ball played in for Frink, just tapped out wide by Josh Leu.
And they still haven't shown ability to possess a ball for a long time here against Assumption. They get it down in their final third, and it seems like Assumption just always has an answer there get the ball back and quickly take it the other way.
Ball now with Bolt. Bolt's just cutting inside, can't find a shot. Ball's all the way back to Ryan, who will just keep it with Moore. Moore with the shot from deep. Finds itself right into the hands of Ryan Turner. Ball played back. Diaz now gives it up to Lovato. Out wide, just unable to find Nolan Clark, who's been...
Yeah, that's been the problem all day for Glenwood. They're getting those passes, but they're going to nowhere. They're not going to feet. They're going out of bounds, and they're not connecting. They connect maybe one or two, and they can't keep it on and get a longer chain of passes connected.
Nolan Clark been on an island all day, but just unable to be found, as a substitution will be made. Asher Langen returning to the game for the Knights in place of Liam Ryan. Maciejewski now here with the ball on the sideline, working through some players and just taken down. Gus Stevens coming back up to take this free kick. He can really drive these and really give the chance to, it could be the finishing blow in Glenwood's season. Ball played in deep for Maciejewski and looked to be headed by the head of a Glenwood player back into the hands of Ryan Turner, and they will go quick. Ball played up and just headed away by Gus Stevens. Frink plays it back to Langen, and now Maciejewski on the sideline. All the way across the box, and just cleared off the line by Jose Diaz.
It seemed like that ball was laying out there for a minute. It wasn't very much, but when you're looking at it like that, just laying there. But
also returning to the game in those recent substitutions was Andrew Abler, the senior forward who went off earlier with a yellow card, having served his 10-minute suspension. Ball played in deep for Abler here. Loses it, and here goes Bolt down the sideline, just carrying. Has a lot of speed there, taken away by Lovato, though. There's where Assumption has been so good. Despite giving up the foul there, they've been first to all of those 50-50 balls, all of those slow balls played on this thick grass. They have been first to.
yeah, and even when Glenwood does get there first, then they're coming right in and taking it away very quickly before, almost as soon as Glenwood gets a touch.
Assumption playing with a lot of intensity here today. That ball played into Tallman will find its way back to Abler. Abler unable to keep it in bounds as it was just shielded off the ball by Ben Leinert. Goes out for a Davenport throw, for a Davenport goal kick. Less than 20 minutes left to play here, and might not see them start to kill clock quite so soon, but it is coming eventually.
Well, and it's working well to keep attacking, keeping it in your half, and then every attempt to move it back up by Glenwood takes a long, long time.
He is now with it, has it taken away by Moore on the near sideline. Moore been quite the presence in that midfield for the Knights. Turner gets it back at his feet. He's being pursued by Frink there. Davenport, Glenwood still playing with a lot of patience, despite trailing by 2. Here comes Frink now with a lot of speed, has it just taken away. Ball finds itself now at the feet of Abler. Off the pass from O'Brien all the way up to Tallman. Tallman unable to do much, and Abler takes down Lynch as he's running up with the ball. Abler already on a yellow, can't afford to do much more. Would be quite the crushing blow for Glenwood should they lose a player to a red card here.
And I think he just got momentum out of the way and a little bit of frustration fell down, and nothing too serious, but you're right. You go down a man when you're already down 2. Nice save by Randy on the
Lynch that ball in. Ryan Turner able to clean that up easily. Ball headed in. O'Brien is able to get his head on it. Langdon now out wide for Matuszewski. That ball in, beautiful, intended for Frink, but just unable to get on it as Ryan Turner will come in to clean that up. Talbot just holding for Glenwood. Is it all the way back to McGoldrick? Very few substitutions today for Glenwood. Diaz with some fancy footwork there to keep it away from Frink and not give the ball away directly in front of his own goal. As that ball played in, Gus Stevens just sends it away. Heads right out of bounds.
smart play knowing there, hey, you got that 2-0 lead. Let's just send it out. Make them work for it. Take more time off the clock.
Ball played in for Tallman. Goldrich will try to send this deep, heading for Rangel. Now Sverren with the shot. Just wide. Sverren has to be disappointed with that. The leading scorer for the Rams has not been able to have quite the impact he wants today.
Yeah, and that would have made things interesting there with 16 to go.
This replay here as it just got passed back by Clark, and Sverren just left of the left post. Matuszewski just able to keep that in here. And here he goes down the sideline. No one showing challenge yet. That pass into Frink in the corner. Chance here to cross. And just outside from Frink. The field next to us, Pella, has just equalized against Decorah. Winner of that game will play the winner here.
Yeah, 4:22 to go in the second half, and they've tied it up.
1-1 game over on Field 7 here at County Soccer Complex. 15 minutes left to play in this 2-0 game here on Field 6 between Assumption and Glenwood. Ball now held by Diaz. Lovato getting forward and just giving the ball away. Something that they've done so much today is give the ball away in that midfield third.
Yeah, a couple of passes and then just not connecting late to move it farther up and get into range. And just credit Assumption. I mean, it just seems like they're all over first there on every ball.
There goes Bolt with it, managing to stay on his feet despite the tackles. Bolt trying to get it in, and here comes Turner to collect. Punt there from Ryan Turner up to Rangel. Rangel just managing to hold up play, but no one to give it back to. Here comes Moore on the counterattack. Moore been quite the force in the midfield today. Gets it out wide. Cross from Moore. Sent out by Christian and now cleared away by Diaz. Bolt regains it for the Knights, though. Moore working against Lovato. Just finds a little shove in the back from Clark, but no foul there. Tallman now over to Sverren, and Sverren has it taken away by McCarty. Glenwood just not playing quick enough, and Assumption able to pounce on those mistakes. That ball in for McCarty on the corner. Dangerous places. He'll just play it in there. No one there. Christian gets on it for Glenwood. Once again, McCarty retreating to get it. Now, Moore with the hit from deep.
Glenwood looks like really run out of gas here. They're all kind of bending over a little bit and not getting up when they do move the ball back.
Ball just sent out again, once again. Turner with the punt. Nucci able to get on it, the doubles goal scorer. Majaszewski can't seem to get past Diaz there as O'Brien cleans it up. Bolt now taking this deep and will find Nucci on the far sideline. Ball played in, and it'll find its way into the back of the net. Not sure if that came directly from Nucci. McCarty was running in there, might have gotten a touch on it. And Ryan Turner went up to get it, just unable to. We'll take another look at that. The ball from Nucci. And it was touched by McCarty, but unsure if it was already in the net. We'll see who they give that to. But if it was Nucci, that was his hat trick. Nucci appears to be claiming it as a substitution will be made.
Boy, I'd claim it.
I would too.
Yeah, I'd say yeah.
Hat trick in the state
tournament. He didn't come close to that. It was in the goal.
Regardless, a great strike, and Turner just unable to get up there to it. Most likely the final blow, making this a 3-0 game with 12 minutes left to play.
Yeah, unless there's a furious rally here. Glenwood just offensively has been stymied all day by Assumption.
Would be a 7-2 upset for Assumption, but they probably prefer if you didn't call it an upset, as they obviously feel that they aren't just the 7th best team in the state. Ball played up for McCarty. McCarty trying to send it out wide, and will be raced with Maciejewski and Turner just sends it out of bounds. Has to retreat back to his goal now.
And they have come out and played just, like we said, beating Glenwood to every ball. They're just playing at a little higher level speed throughout the entire match so far.
Feels like a statement match here from today from Assumption, the 3-time state champions, just 2 years ago saying, no, we're still here, and we are much better than the 7th seed in this tournament.
Looks like we're going to go to overtime on that other field.
Ball played in for Maciejewski, and Diaz just able to take that away.
And Glenwood, you look up, it seems like there's white shirts everywhere now. You're trying to move that ball up the field.
Finds its way to Lovato in the middle. Cesar Morales coming on now for Davenport, giving chase there to Tallman. It's like a few substitutions coming into the game soon for Assumption, essentially just giving some players some experience, being up 3-0.
Yeah. Give them a chance to get out here.
And the ball in, just can't find anyone, finds itself at the feet of Bolt once again. Just bouncing around, finds itself feet of Nucci. Nucci in for McCarty. Just too far. Who just gives it back to Turner. Following that third goal, the intensity definitely feels like it has decreased just a little bit from both teams.
Yeah, and Glenwood was looking tired prior to that, and it just now kind of setting in that
their season likely over unless a miracle happens here.
Yeah, and it's scoring 3 goals in 9 minutes is not easy, and just getting one on the board they haven't been able to do yet today.
Here comes Nucci, the goal scorer, will send in a cross, and no one there to receive on the end of it. Looks like it just stays in there on the sideline for Diaz. Diaz shielding it off from Maciejewski. Will just find its way out for a goal kick. Substitutions now for Assumption. Will be O'Brien being replaced by number 15, Jackson Beck. Beck, a freshman here. Always good to see some freshmen get experience late
get a time
in
in
these
there.
state tournament games. Nucci just gives that back to Gus Stevens. Beck, the freshman, on the ball for the first time today, gives it up to Matuszewski. BA Glenwood throwing deep in their own territory. Ball played in deep, but no one even remotely in the area, as Leinert will just let that trickle out of bounds. More substitutions now for Assumption. Will be Lynch and Frink returning to the game in place of McCarty and the hat-trick hero in this game, Aiden Nucci. Lovato still with it. Tries to find a pass, will only find the foot of Langdon. Matuszewski, a brilliant ball down the line for Frink. Frink just taken off the ball by Diaz, and that will be a foul down there. Corner. Frink looked slightly shaken up by that foul, but will be up in the end. And dangerous position for Assumption, really just to pile it on now.
Yeah,
already
just
a 3-0 game.
Add another on here. Send it across and see if somebody can misdirect it into the goal.
Frink to take. Has to wait for the ref's whistle, so we will do that again.
He'll get another chance.
Clock will be stopped. Just 6:59 here left to play. Three players in the wall here for Glenwood. Here is Frink to take. Oh, driven ball just headed away by Tallman. No more damage done on that free kick. Finds its way back to Bolton. Lynch now playing this in. Frink wants to be on that score sheet. He's come eerily close off the volley several times today. Came eerily close there, but...
Yeah, I got that on the instep, but just too much on the ball coming in, and it went up over the goal. He did his best to contort that foot back, though.
It's a good cross there from Lynch, but Frink just unable to keep it down. Tallman loses it, gets back to Lynch. Now over to Bolt. Bolt been a rock in the midfield today. Really, the entire Assumption midfield has been phenomenal today.
Yeah, it's been hard getting through them.
Matuszewski with the low header just over the bar once again. Assumption still attacking, trying to get something on the board.
Well, and you get some of these new players in there, and they want to get their name in the book today, too.
They're now with it. Swearin just driving. Hasn't had quite the impact he wanted to today, the leading scorer for the Rams. Matuszewski and Langdon will just clear that away, and the threat from Glenwood here. McGoldrick getting into a dangerous position here. Just being played around, finds itself at the feet of Lynch. Lynch sending a deep ball in down the line for Frink. Turner out to claim. Assumption moving on to the next round, most likely. Thought they would probably know their opponent by this stage in the game, but still 1-1 over on Field 7 between Decorah and Perry in overtime as ball finds its way back to Bo Stevens for the first time in what feels like 30 minutes today.
Yeah, he's been standing back there, not much to do.
Made a brilliant save in the first half, diving to his near post, but outside of that, not much. Shesky just working against Diaz there as Diaz just touches it out of bounds.
Well, Decorah took the lead there, and then Perry tied it up, and we're into overtime. If Perry would win, we'd have a 6-7 matchup here, because as it looks like Assumption going to go on.
Line changes here for both teams.
A lot of appreciation as some of these players walking off the field for the last time with their school colors on.
Always a sad moment in your last high school game to walk off the field one last time.
Yeah, and it always comes faster than what you think, you know. You think, oh, man, senior year is going to be a long time, and then boom, before you know it, the season's over. And this has been a different season, too, with soccer, with all the delays of rain and everything. And but when you finish it up at the state tournament and the state game, that's always the best way to end it.
Opportunity here for Glenwood to find a consolation goal with just 3 minutes left to play in this game. Ball headed in. Now just bouncing around. Abbott going up to get it and just taken down by Jackson Beck, the freshman.
Well, there are little theatrics in that, too, I think, and the center referee is saying, no.
Substitution coming on is for Assumption. It's number 12, Nate Martin, coming into the game for the first time today. Shot there from Gavin Abbott for Glenwood, but just over the bar, a brilliant opportunity for Glenwood to find at least one consolation goal.
Yeah, great look at it, but he got underneath it too much. Lifted it over the top.
Gus Stevens just sends that deep. 2:20 left to play in this 2A quarterfinal. Tallman running onto it, looking to get it into Wrangell, and it was just cleared away by Beck. Tallman now. Just continues to bounce around. Teams can't seem to get it down on the grass yet. Tallman unable to get a shot off, and Gus Stevens will just clear that away before it can find the feet of Trevor Hargens, the senior.
A lot of new players in there, a lot of action trying to get something to happen.
Appears to be Colin Steele coming on to the game for Glenwood. Traditionally playing in the net as number 0, the keeper, but today sporting number 24. Be Mooking with the ball now for Assumption. Free kick given this late into the game, and it'll be look to be just on the corner of the box as Mooking was taken down. Minute left to play here in this game.
1 minute remaining in the match. 1 minute.
Assumption will be moving on to play Friday in the semifinals, but their opponent still yet to be decided is
3 minutes to go in the overtime on that other field right now.
Perry and Decorah still tied. That quickly taken. Sent in and will eventually find its way back in and just tapped in. Unsure if it was Lynch that eventually made it cross the line or whether it was Andrew Gimble, but it was close. We'll go ahead and take a look at that. Lynch got the first touch on it, but the question is whether it crossed the line. Just off the post, and it would appear that it was Gimble tapping that in. Makes that 4-0 with just 38 seconds to play here. Ringel now with it, playing it in deep for Abbott. Just sent out of bounds there by Carter Burkhart coming into the game. Just 10 seconds left to play here. Probably not enough time for anyone else to do anything. Shot from distance there by Trevor Hargens, but that will be it as Assumption pulls the 7-2 upset. Although they don't want you to call it an upset, they defeat Glenwood 4-0 here in today's Class 2A quarterfinal. Was quite the game for Assumption. They were dominant the entire time. Aiden Nucci had it continued his fantastic season.
Yeah, he set the tone early with that early goal and then went on and really never let Glenwood get anything going offensively. It just harassed them all day defensively and never let them really get into any kind of groove.
Disappointing day for Adam Severn, the leading scorer for Glenwood. Had 19 on the season, 80 shots, but really unable to find anything today. He had a few shots, but none of them managed to hit the target. Assumption's fantastic goalkeeper, Bo Stevens, not really challenged, made one good save in the first half, but outside of that, had nothing to do.
Yeah, and credit that back line of Davenport. They just really, well, in the midfield, we talked about it too. Getting it past midfield was a chore, and then once they got it back in there, then the back line did not give up much at all. We'll have the trophy presentation coming up here in just a second.
We will send this over to the PA here after they finish the handshake line.
Directing your attention to midfield for the awards. Presenting the state tournament achievement trophy from the Iowa High School Athletic Association is Mr. Andy Untham. Please join in congratulating the players, coaches, and fans of the Rams of Glenwood for a fine season and making the state tournament. Knights, your semifinal game will be played at Mediacom Stadium this Friday, May 31st at 1 o'clock p.m. Congratulations. Safe travels back for everyone right now.
And that will conclude our broadcast here today. On behalf of our color analyst, Dar Danielson, and our producer, and all of us here in Des Moines, I'm Thomas Campbell. Thank you for watching the Iowa High School Athletic Association's broadcast of the 2024 State Soccer Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau.